Hey there, fabulous friends. Welcome to Echo English Stories. Do you want to brighten up your English speaking? Then this delightful story is just right for you. Today I am thrilled to share an incredible survival story with you. You can practice shadowing along the way. Remember, shadowing means listening closely, then joyfully repeating after the audio. This helps your mouth and brain dance to the rhythm of English. This story is about a man's inspiring will to survive. He faced exhilarating challenges alone at sea. What kept his spirit soaring when all hope seemed lost? Let's embark on this adventure together. Now let's dive into the story.
Stephen Callahan was an experienced sailor. He loved the ocean more than anything. He had built his own small sailboat named Napoleon Solo. It was only 21 feet long, but it was perfect for him. Stephen dreamed of crossing the Atlantic Ocean alone. He had read about other sailors who had done it. He wanted to prove he could too. In January 1982, Stephen began his journey. He left from the Canary Islands. His destination was the Caribbean. The sea was calm that morning. The sun was bright in the clear blue sky. Seagulls flew above his boat. Stephen felt excited and confident. He had prepared for months. His boat had enough food for 6 weeks. He had fresh water, fishing equipment, and navigation tools. Everything seemed perfect for his adventure. On the 4th night, something unexpected happened. Stephen was sleeping in his small cabin. Suddenly, he felt a huge impact. The boat shook violently. He heard a loud cracking sound. Stephen jumped out of his bed. He rushed to the deck. In the moonlight, he saw a large hole in the hull. Water was rushing in fast. He tried to fix it, but it was too late. The boat was sinking quickly. Stephen had only seconds to act. He grabbed his emergency bag. He inflated his life raft and jumped in. Seconds later, his beloved Napoleon Solo disappeared under the water. Stephen was alone in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The night was dark and cold. He could see no land in any direction. Only endless water surrounded him. The first few days were the hardest. Stephen had only what he could grab in those few seconds. A small bag with some water, a flashlight, and a knife. He had no food except what he could catch. The sun burned his skin during the day. The nights were cold and scary. He saw sharks swimming near his raft. Their fins cut through the water. Stephen felt fear like never before. But he knew he had to stay calm. He remembered his training. First, he needed to find a way to get fresh water. He made a simple solar still from plastic sheets. It collected water from the sun's heat. It wasn't much, but it kept him alive. Next, he needed food. He used pieces of his life raft to make fishing lines. He caught small fish and ate them raw. The work was tiring, but he had no choice. 1 week passed. Stephen's body was getting weaker. His skin was burned and cracked. His lips were dry and bleeding. He felt dizzy from hunger and thirst. One morning, he saw a large ship in the distance. His heart jumped with hope. He waved his arms and shouted. But the ship did not see him. It sailed away into the horizon. Stephen cried for the first time. He felt like giving up. Why keep fighting? No one would find him here. He was just one small raft in the huge ocean. But then Stephen remembered something important. He thought about other people who had survived worse. He remembered reading about Ernest Shackleton. Shackleton and his crew survived years in Antarctica. They faced freezing cold and starvation. But they never gave up. Stephen decided to do the same. I can handle this, he told himself. Compared to what others have been through, I'm fortunate. He repeated these words every morning. It became his daily ritual. When he felt weak, he said it. When he was scared, he said it. When he wanted to sleep and never wake up, he said it. I can handle this. I'm fortunate. On the 15th day, a storm came. Big waves lifted his small raft high into the air, then dropped it into deep valleys of water. Rain poured down hard. Stephen held onto the raft with all his strength. The wind tried to throw him into the sea. For hours, he fought to stay alive. When the storm finally passed, he was exhausted. But his raft was still intact. Stephen felt a small victory. He had survived the storm. He said his mantra again. I can handle this. I'm fortunate. Weeks passed slowly. Stephen developed a routine. Morning, check for passing ships. Midday, try to catch fish. Afternoon, repair the raft. Evening, rest and watch the stars. He talked to himself to stay sane. He told stories about his childhood. He planned what he would do when he got home. He imagined eating his favorite foods. These thoughts kept him going. One day, something terrible happened. A sharp object had punctured his raft. Air was leaking out slowly. Without the raft, he would die in the ocean. Stephen worked for 7 days straight. His hands were raw and bleeding. His body was weak from lack of food. But he kept patching the hole. He used pieces of plastic and tape. When he thought he was finished, more air leaked out. It seemed impossible to fix. Stephen wanted to give up. He lay in the raft, too tired to move. But then he remembered his mantra. I can handle this. Compared to what others have been through, I'm fortunate. He got up and worked some more. Finally, after 7 long days, the raft stopped leaking. Stephen felt stronger than ever. He had overcome another challenge. More days passed. Stephen lost track of time. He didn't know if it was day 40 or day 50. His body was thin and weak. His clothes were torn and dirty. But his spirit remained strong. He kept repeating his special words. I can handle this. I'm fortunate. These words became his lifeline. They gave him the strength to continue. He thought about his family and friends. He knew they were searching for him. He couldn't let them down. On the 76th day, Stephen saw something in the distance. At first, he thought it was a mirage. But as it got closer, he realized it was a fishing boat. His heart beat fast with hope. He waved his arms and shouted. The fishermen saw him. They steered their boat toward the small raft. Stephen couldn't believe it. After 76 days alone at sea, he was finally being rescued. The fishermen helped him onto their boat. They gave him water and food. Stephen cried tears of joy and relief. He had survived the longest solo survival at sea in history. When Stephen returned home, people called him a hero. They asked how he survived so long. What was his secret? Stephen always gave the same answer. When all hope seemed lost, when there seemed no point in continuing, I told myself I could handle it. Compared to what others have been through, I'm fortunate. I told myself these things over and over, building up fortitude. Stephen wrote a book about his experience. He shared his story with schools and organizations. He wanted to teach others about survival and hope. Many people have been inspired by his words. When they face difficult times, they remember Stephen's mantra. I can handle this. I'm fortunate. Stephen still sails today, but he never goes too far from shore. He respects the ocean more than ever. He knows how powerful and dangerous it can be. But he also knows the power of the human spirit. He learned that our circumstances are only bad compared to something better. But others have been through much worse. We are lucky to be where we are. Years later, Stephen met a young man named David. David was struggling with serious illness. He felt like giving up on life. Stephen shared his story with David. He taught David the same words that saved him. I can handle this. I'm fortunate. David repeated these words every day. They helped him through his treatments. Today, David is healthy and works helping others. He uses Stephen's words to encourage people in need. Stephen's story teaches us an important lesson. When life gets hard, we can choose how to think. We can focus on what we don't have. Or we can be grateful for what we do have. We can compare our problems to others' worst problems. This changes our perspective. It gives us strength to keep going. I have used Stephen's words in my own life. When I fail a test, I think, I can handle this. When I lose a job, I think, I'm fortunate. When I face challenges, I repeat these words. They always help me see things differently. They give me courage to try again. This is why Stephen's story matters. It's not just about surviving at sea. It's about surviving life's challenges. We all face difficult times. We all feel like giving up sometimes. But if we change how we think, we can keep going. We can find hope when there seems to be none. Stephen proved that the human spirit is stronger than we think. With the right mindset, we can overcome almost anything. His 76 days at sea teach us that hope is powerful. Gratitude is powerful. Positive thinking is powerful. Next time you feel overwhelmed, try Stephen's method. Tell yourself, I can handle this. Tell yourself, compared to what others have been through, I'm fortunate. Say it over and over. Build up your fortitude. You might be surprised how much stronger you feel. This is Stephen's story. It started with a sinking boat and ended with a powerful lesson. It shows that sometimes the greatest survival tool isn't food or water. It's the words we tell ourselves. Our thoughts can save us when everything else fails. Now I hope you will remember this story when you face challenges. Be grateful for what you have. find strength in difficult times. Keep going, no matter how hard it gets. This is the real secret to overcoming life's storms.
Thank you for watching this English learning story. If you enjoyed practicing your listening and speaking skills with us, please subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories. Remember, every new word you learn opens a door to a wider world. We'll see you in the next story.